like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right. You guys asked for it, a deep dive into the recent Will Smith Diddy drama, and wow, this one is juicy.
Oh, yeah.
We've got online rumors swirling, some really serious legal charges, and a whole lot of questions.
Yeah, a lot of questions.
Your source material for this deep dive is a news article from THE Music Essentials, so let's jump right in.
Sounds good to me.
You know, this is a wild case study in how quickly these online rumors can just take hold.
Especially when you've got a figure like Will Smith.
Yeah.
You know, Will Smith, so known for his kind of very carefully cultivated public image, getting caught in the crossfire.
Exactly. And Will, who usually stays pretty quiet on this kind of stuff, came out swinging at a recent concert.
Oh, really?
He told the audience, quote, and I quote, "I don't have shit to do with Puffy. Y'all can stop all them memes. Stop all of that bulls."
Wow, that's some strong language.
Yeah.
Even for someone performing live.
Yeah.
That really underscores the gravity of this whole situation. These aren't just lighthearted rumors.
Yeah.
We're talking about some really serious accusations against Diddy here.
Right.
Including charges of sex trafficking and racketeering.
So for those of us who maybe aren't legal experts, can you break down exactly what those charges mean?
Sure. Racketeering basically means engaging in a pattern of illegal activity as part of, an organized group or enterprise. So in this case, the allegations are suggesting that Diddy was involved in a criminal enterprise that profited from these illegal activities,
Right.
potentially including things like prostitution or extortion.
Wow.
Heavy stuff.
And then sex trafficking, that's...
Sex trafficking involved the recruitment, the harboring or transportation of individuals
Okay.
for the purpose of sexual exploitation.
Right.
It's a horrific crime
Yes.
that often preys on vulnerable individuals.
Absolutely.
So the charges against Diddy suggest that he may have been involved in a network that exploited people for this purpose.
It's really heavy stuff.
Yeah.
And it makes me think about, how this whole situation really shines a light on how misinformation can just spread so quickly online, especially through memes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the article obviously calls them the dark side of internet culture.
Yeah.
It's like a wildfire.
Absolutely.
These accusations are incredibly serious as they are.
Yeah.
And then you throw in the online rumor mill.
Right, where things can be like totally taken out of context or exaggerated or completely fabricated even. It becomes almost impossible to separate fact from fiction.
And for someone like Will Smith, who has worked so hard to build this particular image, even just being tangentially associated with these kinds of allegations,
right,
it could be devastating.
Totally. I mean, his entire brand is built on this idea of being, family friendly, approachable.
Yeah.
And these rumors they directly contradict that image.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense that he felt compelled to come out so strongly and address them.
Yeah. And so the article mentions these freak-offs as kind of being at the heart of the issue.
Okay.
What exactly were these gatherings, and how do they connect to the allegations against Diddy?
Well, the term freak-off itself seems to have originated within the music industry.
Okay.
Maybe as like a slang term for wild parties or something.
Gotcha.
But in this context, it's definitely taken on a much darker meaning.
Because according to the article, they weren't just parties.
No, not just parties.
Right.
The article cites several lawsuits.
Okay.
Including one from singer Cassie Ventura.
Oh, wow.
That alleged that these gatherings involved, not just partying and substance use, but also prostitution.
Oh, wow.
Potential coercion.
Yeah.
Even assault.
Okay.
So these lawsuits really paint a disturbing picture.
Yeah.
Of a pattern of exploitation and abuse.
But just to be clear, Diddy has denied all of these allegations.
Right. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
He has pleaded not guilty to the charges.
Right.
And it's important to remember that, he is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Yeah, of course. So we've got these serious charges against Diddy, these concerning allegations about these freak-offs.
Yeah.
And then you have Will Smith caught in the middle of it all.
Right.
And while he denies any involvement in Diddy's alleged activities, he does admit they have been photographed together at industry events, like over the years.
Which, brings up a fascinating point.
Yeah.
Like, how much can we truly separate someone's professional life from their personal life?
Right.
Especially when it comes to these issues of morality and ethics.
Yeah, it's like just because you've been in the same room as someone, at an industry event or whatever, doesn't mean you endorse their behavior, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it makes you wonder if these allegations are true.
Right.
What did those who were in Diddy's circle, what did they know? And when did they know it?
It raises those questions about complicity.
Yeah.
And awareness and the responsibility we all have to speak out against wrongdoing.
Yeah.
Especially, when it involves powerful individuals.
It's a tangled web, that's for sure.
For sure.
And for you listening, I would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Have you been following this story?
Yeah.
What stands out to you?
Right.
How do you navigate these kinds of situations
where
truth and rumor just seem to be constantly battling it out online?
It's a question we all face, in this age of instant information.
Okay, so we've laid out the groundwork here. Serious charges against Diddy, this web of online rumors.
Yeah.
And Will Smith caught in the middle.
Caught in the middle.
But let's dig a little deeper into those lawsuits against Diddy.
Okay.
What kind of details do they reveal about these freak-offs and the alleged misconduct?
Let's take a closer look.
So let's dive into those lawsuits against Diddy, head first. The article mentioned Cassie Ventura's case, specifically. What did her lawsuit actually allege?
Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, well, it was settled out of court, but it was pretty explosive, I'd say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she claimed that those freak-offs were, they were far from innocent gatherings.
Mm.
She alleged that Diddy used these parties as a means to coerce women into having sex.
Oh, wow.
Often through, manipulation, and intimidation tactics.
Now, settling a lawsuit, it doesn't necessarily imply guilt.
Right. That's true. Settlements, they can happen for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's simply just a way to, avoid a long and expensive trial.
So.
But, in cases like this, where the allegations are so serious and they involve, potential reputational damage, settling can sometimes raise questions.
Yeah.
About whether there was, an attempt to silence the accuser, maybe, or avoid further scrutiny.
It's a complex situation for sure. It really is.
Yeah.
And it makes you think about, the power dynamics that are at play here, especially in the music industry.
For sure. I mean, you have someone like Diddy, who is a major player in the industry, going up against someone who's, less established, like Cassie Ventura was at the time.
Yeah.
There's an inherent imbalance of power there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like David and Goliath, but with even higher stakes. So Cassie Ventura's lawsuit was settled.
Right.
But the article mentions other lawsuits as well.
Right.
What kind of allegations are we talking about there?
Well, the other lawsuits paint a similar picture.
Okay.
A pattern of abuse and exploitation.
Okay.
They allege that Diddy used his wealth and his influence to create an environment where women felt pressured into sexual acts.
Oh, wow.
Often feeling like they didn't have a choice.
Yeah. And the article actually mentions Jay-Z being named in some of these lawsuits as well. Right.
What is his alleged involvement?
The lawsuits allege that Jay-Z was aware of these freak-offs.
Okay.
And the misconduct that was allegedly happening there.
Uh-huh.
They claim he not only knew about it, but also may have even participated in some of the activities.
That's a huge claim.
It is.
I mean, if true, that implicates someone else who's a major figure in the music industry. It really starts to feel like a systemic issue,
It does. It does. It certainly raises questions about the culture within the industry.
Right.
And the potential for abuse, when you have these massive power imbalances.
Yeah.
But it is important to remember, though, that these are still allegations.
Right.
And Jay-Z has denied any wrongdoing.
Of course.
But it's definitely a situation that deserves serious attention.
And going back to those specific charges against Diddy, like the racketeering and the sex trafficking.
Right. Those are incredibly serious accusations. What are the potential legal outcomes for him, if he's found guilty?
Well, if convicted on these charges, Diddy could face significant prison time.
Wow.
Racketeering charges alone can carry sentences up to 20 years.
Wow.
And sex trafficking charges, they could be even more severe.
Okay.
And beyond the legal consequences, there's the potential for, like irreparable damage to his reputation, his career.
Absolutely.
I mean, this really is a high-stakes situation.
This really is, yeah. So while we need to be careful not to, present these allegations as facts,
Right.
we also can't ignore, like, the gravity of the situation
Right.
and the potential impact on everyone involved.
Absolutely. It's a story that's still unfolding.
Yeah.
And it'll be fascinating to see how the legal process plays out.
Right.
And what it reveals about the music industry. You
Yeah.
know, the power of these online rumors and, the complexities of accountability in this digital age.
And for you listening, I want to know, what are your thoughts on this? How do you process these kinds of stories when you hear them?
Yeah.
What questions come up for you? Do you find yourself questioning, like, the information you see online?
I think those are really important questions we all need to be asking ourselves these days.
And let's be honest, these kinds of stories, they're not just confined to the music industry.
You're absolutely right. These issues of power and exploitation and accountability, I mean, they're prevalent in so many industries and sectors of society.
Yeah. It makes you think about how easily these kinds of situations can just be swept under the rug, especially when powerful people are involved.
It's a reminder, really, that we need to be vigilant.
Right.
To hold those in positions of power accountable.
Yeah.
And to support those who are, brave enough to speak out against wrongdoing.
Okay, so we've talked about the charges against Diddy, the allegations surrounding these freak-offs, and the potential legal outcomes. But let's circle back to Will Smith for a moment.
Okay.
He was so adamant in his denial, even calling out, like, the memes directly. It seemed like he was genuinely angry about how these rumors were impacting him.
I think it's important to acknowledge the human element here.
Yeah.
Even celebrities, right, who often seem larger than life.
Yeah.
They're real people, too.
Right.
With feelings and reputations.
Yeah, it's interesting, though, because even while denying it, being involved,
right.
Will Smith admitted that he and Diddy have, been photographed together at all these industry events over the years.
Right, which kind of brings us back to that question of, like, how much separation there really is between someone's, like, professional life and their personal life,
It's true.
I mean, it's one thing to say, hey, I only know this person, professionally.
Yeah.
But if those professional circles, they overlap with potentially problematic behavior,
right,
it gets a lot more complicated.
It's like, how do you draw the line?
I know.
And for those of us on the outside looking in, how do we assess these situations?
Right.
I mean, on the one hand, you have Will Smith, like, vehemently denying any involvement.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there are these really serious allegations against Diddy, and they've been in the same, like, social circles for years.
Right.
How do we, as consumers of information, navigate that?
That's the million-dollar question in today's world, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we're just, like, bombarded with information.
Yeah.
Accusations, denials, all circulating online, like lightning speed.
Right.
It's so easy to get swept up in the drama of it all.
Yeah.
To form opinions based on, like, just the headlines.
Right.
Or these little snippets of information.
Yeah, it's almost like we're all amateur detectives, trying to piece together the truth from a puzzle, that's missing, like, half the pieces.
Exactly. And that's where critical thinking becomes, like, absolutely essential.
Yeah.
It's not about blindly believing or disbelieving everything you see.
Right.
It's about, like, pausing.
Yeah.
Taking a step back and asking yourself those questions, like, what do we actually know?
Yeah.
What evidence is there to support these claims?
Yeah.
What are the potential biases at play here?
And it's so easy, I think, to get, like, caught up in the emotional aspect
of
these stories, especially when they involve, figures we might, like, admire or have strong opinions about.
Exactly. And that's where it's so crucial to really separate the person from the allegations. We can acknowledge that someone might have, done great things in their career or in their personal life even without, condoning potentially harmful behavior.
It's like that reminder that even our idols are human, capable of making mistakes, and potentially engaging in, harmful actions.
It's true.
And for those of us just trying to like make sense of it all, it requires a level of nuance that can be challenging to maintain in this like fast-paced world.
Oh, this fast-paced world
of online information.
Yeah, I think one key takeaway for me, at least, from this whole situation is like the importance of not rushing to judgment. We need to like resist the urge to immediately take sides or declare someone guilty or innocent, just based on incomplete information.
It's about acknowledging that like things are often more complex than they appear on the surface, right? There might be, details we're not privy to, evidence that hasn't come to light, or perspectives we haven't even considered.
Totally. And it's also about, being aware of our own biases too.
Right.
I mean, we all come to these stories with our own like preconceived notions, experiences, and opinions.
Right.
So it's important to recognize those biases and how they might be influencing our interpretation of these events.
So to bring this all back to our listener, who requested this deep dive into the Will Smith Diddy situation, what do you hope like they walk away with?
Well,
what's the nugget of wisdom they can carry with them as they continue to like navigate the world of online information?
I would hope that they leave this conversation with like a heightened sense of awareness.
Yeah.
An awareness of how quickly rumors can spread, how easily, information can be manipulated.
Right.
And how important it is to just approach these situations with a critical eye,
Yeah. It's about recognizing that, like, we all have a role to play.
They do.
In responsible information consumption, right?
Yes, absolutely.
We can choose to be, critical thinkers, to be discerning about the sources we trust, and to be mindful of the potential impact of our own words and actions online.
And ultimately, I think it's about fostering a culture of empathy and understanding.
Yes.
Recognizing that behind these headlines, these social media posts, are real people whose lives are being impacted.
Yeah.
By these events.
Well said. This has been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It has.
We started with, some online gossip about Will Smith and Diddy.
Right.
And we ended up like exploring the complexities of legal charges, the power dynamics of the music industry, and the challenges of navigating information.
Right.
In the digital age.
It's amazing how these seemingly isolated events can often be connected to larger societal issues.
Right.
And spark such important conversations.
And for you listening, we want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yes, thank you.
We encourage you to continue exploring these questions, to challenge your own assumptions, and to engage in thoughtful dialogue with others.
Absolutely.
Remember, being well-informed, it isn't just about knowing the facts.
No.
It's about understanding like the nuances, the complexities, and the human stories behind those facts.
It's about approaching information with curiosity.
Yeah.
A healthy skepticism, and an open mind.
Thanks for diving depth with us.
Yes. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep asking those tough questions.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're Bobby doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.